I never thought this would be the case, but I am going to be here in Turkey discussing US-based censorship. Hello from Istanbul, Turkey. This is Josh Friedman, currently on a walk on the historic peninsula and at the moment passing through the historic Sultanahmet area. Speaking of which, this right here, this very large mosque is indeed Sultanahmet. It's currently under some renovation, as you might be able to tell, and directly across from Sultanahmet is a former mosque that right there is Hagia Sophia, formerly a church as well. It was for a long time. In fact, the majority of its history thus far was Hagia Sophia was an Orthodox church. You might be able to sense that there's the dome features that look and resemble very much like an Orthodox church, yet it's got the minarets of a mosque, and nowadays it's a museum. I've explained this in depth in another video I shot out here several years back. As for today, I never thought this would be the case, but I am going to be here in Turkey discussing US-based censorship. So I just felt the time was right to bring up this topic and address it in a bit of a personal manner. Given the headlines this week, here's more of a look at beautiful park and square here, just underneath Hagia Sophia. So for those of you watching, I'm guessing that most of you are already aware of the news this week with regard to Project Veritas and alleged political bias and censorship on the part of both Google and YouTube, with Google obviously owning and being the parent company of YouTube. For those of you who for some reason are not aware of the news this week on that front, I'll just tell you very briefly. Project Veritas is a conservative-leaning investigative journalism organization that's got a specialty for getting undercover footage, and that was part of what happened this week. They published undercover footage of a Google exec, as well as internal documents and more, all alleging significant political bias against conservatives and President Donald Trump, as well as discussing censorship on YouTube. And given that that's in the news in a big way, and given YouTube's response to it and Google's response to it, which I guess I might as well bring up right now. For those of you who are not aware, I'm sure most of you who are watching are, but for those of you who are not, and here's probably your last look at Hagia Sophia before I head down the hill. So for those of you who are not aware, Project Veritas published a YouTube video containing these allegations and the footage I was referencing, and it was taken off of YouTube. So people who are already critics of, oh, I almost got hit by a tram. I'll cross when there's one coming, but when they're coming in both directions, as is the case right now, then I really risk getting run over. And I'll stall momentarily to let it pass, because I know this tram is loud. So the critics of Google and YouTube and big tech in general, have really been crying foul this week and saying that this Project Veritas video is case in point, that you publish a video about YouTube censorship and YouTube censors it. And I haven't reviewed all of the allegations in there, and I haven't reviewed YouTube's, I think it was a privacy case, or YouTube cited privacy violation as why the video is taken down. But like, at this point, it's pretty clear that YouTube, and for that matter, all other big tech platforms, are not pro-free speech platforms. You go against the grain and you risk getting removed, censored, shadow banned. There's so many demonetized. There's so many terms nowadays for soft and hard censorship online. I thought that something like a video getting taken down, that kind of fairly overt censorship, I did not think that would be affecting me for some time. I recall a year ago, when there was a big wave of censorship, particularly with Alex Jones and much of InfoWars getting removed from major tech platforms. I remember thinking and saying, speaking with some people at that point, that probably sometime in the future I was in line to catch the censorship bug. Probably at some point years down the road, because I cover some content, for instance, Bilderberg, that now we're gonna get disrupted a bit by the call to prayer, but hopefully you can hear me over it. It's a bit difficult for me to compete with the mosque loudspeakers, but the noise has largely died down, I hope. Obviously it hasn't completely died down, but I'm almost done with my walk, so I want to wrap this up. I was saying that a year back, it became evident to me, given that I covered some topics, for instance, Bilderberg, which aren't so kosher in the mainstream, and that I don't merely toe the line of big tech in mainstream media politically. It became evident to me a year back that at some point down the line in the future, I would most likely catch the censorship bug. Boy, it's not getting quieter, huh? There's no avoiding evening prayers here, but I will proceed. So it became evident that at some point I would catch the censorship bug, but I didn't think it was happening anytime soon. I'm on YouTube, for instance, a small creator. Even now, I only have 1,000 something subscribers. I didn't think I would be targeted anytime soon. I thought probably years down the line I would have to deal with this, but lo and behold, last week, a week and a half ago, something like that, I got an email from YouTube in the middle of the night that one of my videos had been taken down. And I was given the opportunity to appeal, which I did, and the appeal was promptly rejected. If you have been following some of my other social media posts, including the community tab on YouTube, you might be aware that the video that was taken down was my report from Dortmund, Germany, a few years ago, in which I embedded in what was essentially a neo-Nazi march. It was a large march through Dortmund of far-right German nationalists, and many of them, if not most of them, were expressing support for National Socialism during the march. And I'm guessing that the term Nazi or neo-Nazi triggered the YouTube censors. I'm saying I'm guessing because I don't have anything resembling a definitive explanation. The email I got from YouTube suggested that I may have violated rules about inciting or promoting violence or promoting hatred of members or people in some protected group, which I think the latter would probably relate to the Nazi or neo-Nazi issue. Sorry, I had to break again. But back to the Nazi or neo-Nazi issue. With regard to my personal case, I don't think it really needs to be said, but it's so absurd that I guess I'll just address it anyway. The notion that I would be promoting something along the lines of Nazism is indeed just that. It's absurd. I'm Jewish, and you're not going to find me promoting Nazism anywhere, let alone the fact that my political views are libertarian, and this report was just a straight news report. In fact, for much of the video, I wasn't even providing commentary. For much of the video, I was merely filming the march and what people are saying. So if indeed the video was taken down under the rule that, or because of a violation of the rule against promoting hatred of members of a certain protected group, it's just absurd. Like, what is YouTube saying that a Jewish journalist is promoting anti-Semitism? It's absurd. And I've brought that up on, I brought it up with YouTube on Twitter to no avail. I pointed out on Twitter, it's very interesting that I actually, even though I'm just a small creator, I get responses from the Team YouTube account, which has been in the news this week, or at least YouTube's Twitter presence has been in the news this week thanks to the Project Veritas ordeal. But what I'm saying is that even though I'm just a small creator, I get responses from YouTube on Twitter seemingly every time I have a technical problem and I ask YouTube or Team YouTube for help. They get back to me, but then when I ask to have my video restored and I point out that a Jewish journalist is obviously not promoting Nazism, no response whatsoever. And that's pretty telling. It probably furthers the points being made this week with regard to YouTube censoring criticism of YouTube, or Google censoring criticism of Google. It's basically one and the same. But there's more that needs to be addressed about this so-called Nazi or Nazism issue. Who knows what's going to happen with this video now, as I've got to decide where to take you in this beautiful part of Istanbul. If I cross via the underpass right now, it's going to get a little crowded, probably a bit noisy for filming this vlog. So now I'm walking directly into the sun. Maybe behind me you can see the Galata Tower. We're right now in the Eminönü, the spice market area, right by the water. This is a beautiful part of town, one of my favorite parts of this incredible city. We're in the Golden Horn area. The Golden Horn is the inlet of the Bosphorus Strait. The Bosphorus Strait is the body of water that divides Istanbul and divides the world basically between east and west. The Bosphorus Strait cuts through Istanbul, with on one side of the Bosphorus being Europe, and on the other side of the Bosphorus is Asia. And considering how long this video is dragging on, you might actually end up seeing the Bosphorus in this video. I'm heading toward the Galata Bridge, which is a bridge over the Golden Horn connecting one European part of the city to another. Anyway, back to the Nazi issue. So we'll see what happens with this video. Are the YouTube censors triggered merely by someone saying the word Nazi in a video? Is this video going to get taken down from YouTube? And what am I going to do with regard to this matter that appears to be resulting in self-censorship? So I'm hearing at least one prominent YouTuber refuse now to say the word Nazi in a video. Now I gotta go through an underpass. This could get a bit loud, but whatever. You get a picture at crowded Istanbul, and I'll try to hold the mic close. There we are, underpass. Headed toward the Galata Bridge from one European part of the city to another. Yes, it's a city of 15 million people, pretty crowded. But I'm holding the mic close to my mouth, so I think you can continue to hear me. So I was saying that at least one prominent YouTuber is now self-censoring, not saying the word Nazi or anything with Nazi in it, and saying something like some World War II ideology. And one of the points that I really want to make in this video is that I'm not going there. I'm not going to self-censor. I want to be a little bit clear about some journalistic ethics I have and what limited policy I guess I set for reporting to you on this channel. Here is the Galata Bridge, which whatever, we'll go on it, maybe cross it. I think I just showed you the Galata Bridge. Couldn't tell how exactly I was holding the phone. Yeah, so I'm not gonna self-censor. If for whatever reason, not that I particularly have an interest in reporting on Nazis or neo-Nazis or Nazism, but if it comes up for whatever reason, then I'm gonna say the word. I'm not gonna say some World War II era ideology. All right, here's a look at truly beautiful Istanbul. That's the Galata Tower. This is the Galata Bridge. That is off in the distance. The metro bridge, the Istanbul metro, cuts across. Incredibly scenic setting. Here's a popular place to eat some fish. Speaking of fish, one of the busiest fishing locations around is the Galata Bridge. Beautiful place to catch the sunset as well. We're a little bit early right now, but nonetheless, truly majestic location, I would say. We're on the wrong side of the bridge right now for you to see the Asian side, although maybe off in the distance you can make it out a bit. Hopefully this video isn't going to last so long that I end up on the other side of the bridge, but we'll see. You can watch other videos of mine that I've shot in this area. So all right, I'll take you back to journalism school. Yeah, I do have a degree in journalism, for whatever that's worth, not necessarily a whole lot. And I recall several years back being in journalism school, and I recall a local newscaster who was the professor teaching a lesson that's very relatable right now. He was talking about the use of euphemisms in reporting, and he was basically instructing us not to use euphemisms. For instance, if someone dies, or if we're writing about a death, we write the person died, not that the person passed away. It's basically instructed traditionally in journalism that you just state what happens, you say what's going on, you report the facts. You don't try to cushion the blow or soften your language or sanitize your report to appease a certain audience. And that's a sentiment that I take to heart. I don't agree with everything I was taught in journalism school, but that was something I certainly agreed with, and that's something I'm going to continue doing in my reporting. I'm just going to report what happens, not report things as YouTube or Google want me to report. I'm not gonna let the language police dictate how I report to you. And I thought that was something that's important that I get across here. That even if I'm faced with the threat of a video going down, I'm just gonna report what's happening. I'm not gonna turn to euphemisms and right speak or new speak in order to satisfy the YouTube censors and not get a video taken down. In fact, something like that comes up in some other reporting I do. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. But for instance, there's been a lot of debate in recent years about use of the term illegal immigrant. And nowadays in the media, it seems major Western media, mainstream media, it seems like it's become unkosher to refer to anyone as an illegal immigrant. And that is not a policy I agree with. Personally, my views on immigration are hardly that of a right-wing nationalist. But if I'm writing about something related to illegal immigration or illegal immigrant, I'm going to call it just that, illegal immigration, or refer to the person as an illegal immigrant. I'm not going to say an undocumented human being or some euphemism like that. So that's an example of how it comes up in reporting nowadays. And if this video indeed gets taken down because I've used the term Nazi in it, then I guess what news I have for you is that I now have a backup. Some people have been questioning me lately why I'm not on some of the pro-free speech platforms, blockchain type platforms that are not going to censor straight news reporting, that are not going to censor anything that is politically unacceptable to a certain group. But anyway, so now I am. Because of the situation I had with the neo-Nazis video, BitChute, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, reached out to me and they got me set up on their platform, which was very kind of them. They were very generous and helpful with me, very good customer service. And so now my videos that go up on YouTube get automatically uploaded to BitChute. So that as well is my response to this censorship. If my videos are, dare I speculate my channel as a whole ever gets taken down, then I now have at least one backup, which is on BitChute. So this video is going up on BitChute. You may even be watching it on BitChute, and I expect for this foreseeable future all my other videos will be going up on BitChute as well, and maybe if new, better competing video hosting platforms that respect free speech come out, then I might as well use them as well. Here's another look from a different angle at the Golden Horn. This is a very beautiful area. Galata Bridge right here. Hagia Sophia right there. I don't know how to zoom in selfie mode. No, there it is. There's Hagia Sophia, the beautiful church turned mosque turned museum. Sultanahmet you can't really see, but the Topkapi Palace, it's somewhere over there. The old Sultan's Palace from the Ottoman days. Very, very beautiful area. I guess I've got a few minutes left. I can go up on the bridge, maybe give you a look at Asia very briefly. So my response to the censorship, both in general and in my personal case, is A, I'm not going to self-censor. B, as a hedge against the censorship, I've gotten on BitChute and I will explore alternatives as they arise. Here's probably a better look at the Golden Horn and Hagia Sophia and Topkapi Saray. I was mostly shooting this video not to show you Istanbul, but to explain my position and how I'm handling this censorship issue. I hopefully am not going to have to be making too many more videos about this topic, and hopefully I can just stick to reporting. All right, here we go. Here's Asia. So, well, it's hard for me to do this. I'm staring directly at Asia right now, and you are too. I don't know how good your view is, but straight ahead is Asia. This is Europe. This is also Europe. This is still Europe. This tram is in Europe, even though it's going over the water. And right, let's see. That's hard for me to point, but if you, now I'm competing with the sun. Straight ahead is Europe, is Asia, and what lies in between Asia and here, the Golden Horn, is the Bosphorus Strait, which cuts across Istanbul this way. And there's actually something that came up a bit in my reporting in the past, and actually just this month, as it relates to Turkey and Russia and NATO and geopolitics. In order for ships, namely Russian ships, to pass from the Black Sea, where Crimea, for example, is, to the Mediterranean Sea and then the open waters, they must go through right here, Istanbul, and specifically the Bosphorus Strait. And the passage of ships through this strait is governed by the Montreux Convention, that good old city in Switzerland where I just was to cover Bilderberg. In fact, the Montreux Convention, the rules that govern the passage of ships between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, was signed in the Montreux Palace where Bilderberg 2019 took place. Coincidence? I don't know. Who knows? You can make of that what you like. Here's some fishing action on the bridge. One of my favorite places in the world to be. And I just wanted to wrap up the personal response to the censorship issue by saying, no, I'm not exiting YouTube. At least not at this juncture. I don't have any plans to exit YouTube. It seems to me like I definitely am at risk of getting videos taken down if I'm making a video like this exact one where I'm using the word Nazi repeatedly. We'll see what happens. But I'm not planning on leaving YouTube. YouTube has really provided me incredible services over the year, both as a content consumer and a content creator. And I'm extremely grateful for all the information I've learned from watching YouTube videos, from connections I've made from putting out my own videos. I've had a couple fairly, or at least one fairly incredible story generated merely from me uploading a YouTube video. You could look up the story of the refugee from Afghanistan being flown into Lithuania. That's something that shows the incredible potential that can come from merely uploading a 30-second YouTube video, and that's something I'm very grateful for. So I'm not abandoning YouTube, but I'm now proceeding with a backup plan or two. We're back almost across the Galata Bridge, Galata Tower right there. Here's a fairly prominent mosque, though it's nothing quite like Sultan Ahmet. And I think that about covers it. So I hope to be continuing to connect with you on YouTube. Ever since this year's Bilderberg wrapped up just a few weeks ago, I've been connecting increasingly more with people, and I'm very grateful for YouTube's role in facilitating that. So I'm staying on YouTube, but I'm not going to self-censor. If they take down my videos, so be it. I've now got backups, although I haven't backed up the whole channel. That's something I do need to address. I saw an article this week, I think, saying that BitChute has rolled out a feature that automatically allows you to back up your entire channel. I'm not sure if that's the case, or if it's just like how I have it set right now, that as soon as you upload a video to YouTube, it automatically gets uploaded to BitChute. If someone knows definitively on that, please comment below or reach out to me. I do need to back up my old videos, which is the vast majority of the channel. But yeah, there you go. I've got a hedge against YouTube censorship. I'm not going to self-censor, but I'm not planning on leaving the YouTube platform, and I hope to be connecting more and more with all of you on whatever platform that might be. And I hope once again you enjoyed this little trip around a very historic area of a very historic city and a very significant location, as I just explained. I mean, this right here basically explains why I love Istanbul so much. You've got the history of two of the world's greatest empires, they being the Byzantine Empire and the Ottoman Empire. Some of their most important relics lie right here. You've got very European type, well, not very, but a pretty European type civilization just up the road there, like Taksim, where I was reporting to you on election day. Just across from here, you've got the Bosphorus Strait in Asia. It's where two worlds meet, both literally and metaphorically. And I'll wrap up this video on censorship and YouTube, bizarrely coming to you from Turkey, with just that. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to be seeing you very soon once again on whatever platform that might be. Güle güle from Istanbul.